Morning, everybody. It's Saints Man, small van driver on the CX. It's Thursday 24th. This is Monday to Wednesday this week. Real mixed bag of a week as well. Just like to say, it's all unedited. It's how I do it, so that's what it is. So if that helps people, I'll try my best, but we'll see. Going to Monday. Monday was a shit day. It's just a shit day. I started off, I hadn't got a job booked in, and I got a job quite quickly, but it's a very small job. It was local, Daventry to near Toaster. It was only 12 miles, but I've got to go 12 miles to get to it. No, I've got to go 15 miles to get to it, and it was 25 miles all in, 10 miles away, so it wasn't too, it was only a little job. I got 35 quid. And it was a laptop to a residential address. So I got over £1 a mile, but it's a small job and it's like, but there was not a lot about. It was really quiet. Mondays is really quiet at the moment. I've decided jobs are going cheap as they shouldn't be, because petrol's high, but people ain't getting jobs, so they're going a bit cheaper, and it's gonna lead to rack and ruin. But we did the job anyway. Got okay money because it was a small job. I was parked in Toaster, which is normally a good area because it covers Milton Keynes, Northampton, Daventry, sort of pretty much, Brackley, all around there. And I picked a job up then. I didn't really want to go to London, but it's where I ended up. I picked a job up at Wolverton, Milton Keynes. I was only 12 miles from it. I'm going to say 12 miles. Might be slightly further. Down to North London. It said Mayfair on the thing. It was a garage, a very posh garage, but it wasn't. It was North London. It was on the A40. You go to Hanger Lane, just down the A40 on the left, and the part was in an envelope. It was part for a car, very posh car in an envelope. I got 52 for that, so I was on over £1 a mile. I was about £1 a mile loaded. In fact, I was just over £1 a mile loaded, but with my mileage to get there, it worked a bit less. So I got good money, but you go into London. What I tend to do now, I try and park up around Brayton Cross, somewhere around there. There's Tesco's around there, or this time I didn't. I parked at the services, bottom of the M1. I used to call it Scratchwood. I don't know what it's called now, but that's where I parked and waited. I got a cup of coffee, I had a toilet break, and I waited. Jobs in London are going so cheap. I quoted on 7-8 jobs, and I was quoting as low. I quoted one to Wellingborough, which is only not far from me. I decided the day was going to be a write-off anyway. Quoted one to Wellingborough, and I quoted 60p a mile loaded, and I'd got to go 10 miles to get there, and didn't even get a sniff. It was gone as quick as. So people getting out of London. Big Beardy put it, how the hell do you get out of London without quoting cheap? I don't know. The only good thing is, when I go to London, I quote heavy, and if they want to pay it, then I'll do it. But getting out of London, getting around London's a nightmare. Don't book pence per mile, for God's sake. Quick tip: just book on how long you think it'll take you. If it's 15 miles, but you think it's going to take you 2 hours, and your hourly rate's 25 an hour, book 50 quid on it, because it's all time, and you're still in London, got to get out. So, but guys are booking it too cheap. But hey, as to what it is at the moment. But that was it. Anyway, the good news about it was I got a phone call. I knocked it on the head. I thought, stop this. I thought I'll drive up a little bit the motorway. I thought even if I drive to Luton, Tollington Services, somewhere around there, I might get a local job. Luton to Birmingham, Luton to Carver, Luton to Northampton. But I'd wrote the day off. I'd only got 87 quid on the day, but I hadn't done many miles. And then I got a call, a mate of mine, who I'd got a job booked in for Tuesday morning, which was a long job. It was a day's money, and I got to pick it up Monday night. By the way, digress slightly, I've got a new insulated mug. It cost me a tenner. Best thing ever. My other one used to keep me tea hot for about 2 hours. This, 5 hours. And it's piping hot now. And it's 10:30, and I made this at 7 o'clock this morning, and it's still burning my tongue. But hey, digress. So that was it. Wrote Monday off. I went and picked this load up for Tuesday, and it was a regular run of mine, but I hadn't got Oxford on it. I'd got first drop was Cheltenham, down to Cardiff, down to Bristol, down to Exeter. So my first drop from my house from Northampton was Cheltenham, which meant a really early start for me because I want to get cracking. If I've got Oxford, I can't get into Oxford till 7:30. Same thing with Cheltenham, I could get there at 7, and it's 2 hours from my house. So Monday worked out 170 miles, sorry, for 87 quid, which was crap. It was 50p, 52p, whatever. But I only really worked 6.5 hours, and I'd got a load for the next day, but it was crap. So Tuesday, I'd already got this job booked in. Got the job. I'd booked. It was 190 odd quid on it, and it was an early start. It meant I was going to be in Exeter. I even envisaged about 12:30. So there was a good chance I was going to get something out of Exeter. If not, I was going to stay down there. Set off. I started at 4:45. Left my house at 4:45. It all went swimmingly. But what I'd done, I got to Cheltenham, had a look at the feed. There was a job from Exeter at 12:30 back to Northampton, NN4. I know exactly what it was. It was COVID to the lab. And I'd worked it out. I thought, I can be in Exeter for 12. If I get everything going in my way, I can be in 12. Postcode was in EX5, which I envisaged it was going to be around the airport. I thought, I'm going to quote on it and put 12:30 to 1 o'clock pickup. So I quoted on it because it was equine only. I did back road rate and I left it and see. So it was still on there when I got to Cardiff, which after Cheltenham I did Cardiff and it was still on there. I left Cardiff at 9 o'clock and I got a phone call. I got the job from Exeter to Northampton. So whereas Monday was completely dog shit, Tuesday it was bang in my lap. I got a COVID sample and it was Exeter Airport and it was to do the 2030 labs in Brackmills, which is 3 miles from my house. But what I got to do is make sure I got to Exeter in time, and I wanted to fill up with fuel when I had something to eat, so I was on a bit of a rush. And I did, and the wind was blowing a gale, absolutely blowing the van all over. I'd got weight on as well, but I did Bristol straight in. I'd done Cardiff before 9, in, out, and I'd done Bristol, and I was out of Bristol by 10:15, and that got me to Exeter for 11:45, just under 11:45. I only got 2 boxes for Exeter. I know exactly where it is. I delivered at 11:45. Give me time, nip to Morrison's, get something to eat, fill up, shot over to Exeter Airport, which is just the other side of the M5. Got there for just after 12. So parked up. I thought I'd park up outside the airport, ate my sandwich, and I thought, well, I'll go in because I've got to find this place. But Exeter's a real small airport, don't worry. And the barrier's up. £3 to park. I thought, well, I ain't paying no money. I'll push for assistance. No, rang the bell and I think I backed up. I went authorised vehicles only, right, and I could see the COVID the other side. I thought, I'll ring this bell, and I'll just say I'm picking up COVID, and I ain't paying no money, £3. And the barrier lifted straight up, and I went in and backed up, and it was about 12:10, and the lady come out. I said, I'm really early. I says, who I was from, the courier company that booked me, and I says, she said, yeah, they're ready now. I said, well, I'm not due out till 12:30. She said, no, they're ready. She said, it's quiet day, there's only 2 flights today. And she says, no, it's ready to go. Small box with the COVID's in, 2030 lap. So I put it on. I left there at 12:15, 12:20. I was out and back and delivered. And I was back in Northampton. I stopped on the way back. I'd already fueled up at Morrison's in Exeter. And I stopped on the way back for a coffee at Swindon. Not Swindon, that's a lie. Between Swindon on the Oxford Road, there's a Greggs to get a coffee, and Esso Garage just outside on the 420. Grabbed a coffee, and I was home. I was back in Northampton before 4 o'clock. Know exactly where it is. Delivered it, and I was home at 4:15. I got £100 for 180 miles. That's the lowest I was going to go. Normally for 180 miles, I would book 90. 135. About 125, 135. 135 is 75p a mile. But on longer jobs, I tend to go down a little bit. But I wanted the job, and I quoted 100 quid for 185 miles. And I knew I got no dead miles, well, 3 miles. So it was good. So that day worked out brilliantly. I did 291 quid because I got 192 on the first one. 292 quid. 192 on the first one, 100 quid on the next one, 292. And I did 11 and a half hours for that. So that was a cracking day. It was a perfect day. Early start, but perfect day. And also when I got back, I booked a loading for the next day, and it was north this time. This is for yesterday, and good thing about it. Well, it didn't turn out good. Yesterday I had 4 drops. I had 1 box for Alderley Edge, and it was a name. I shan't say the lady's name, but she is the partner of the most famous footballer in Manchester. That's all I can say. Alderley Edge, 1 box to their house in Alderley Edge, and I found out what the house name was. Both sat navs took me to a house 2 houses up on the Wednesday. They took me to someone else, famous footballer's house. Never get past security, the gates, electric gates, and I said, I've got a box for this lady who's a partner of this famous footballer. He said, yeah, everyone comes here. He says, sat navs took you here. I went, yep. He says, you're literally 2 doors down where them 2 big mirrors are on the corner of the road. And that's where we went. We went up there. Security again. Security gate. Never see. I could see the house. The middle of the house upwards because there was a 6 foot high gate. And he opened the gate about 3 foot, come through it and shut it. He'd see me coming up the lane. And I said it was for. He says, yeah. And he signed for it. So I never actually see. I wouldn't have seen the famous footballer because I was playing away that night. Out the country, and I wouldn't see his other half because the security was massive. If you're getting paid that much money, I suppose, yeah. But that was my first drop. On the way up, I'd set off again. I wanted to be there at 8 o'clock. I didn't get about 7:45. I got there at 9 because I left the house at 5, and I got to get to the centre of Manchester and delivered before 10. That was my second delivery. Right in the centre of Manchester, retail. And I knew I was going to struggle. I got stuck in a massive traffic jam on the M6. Huge. So I knew I was going to struggle. But I didn't. I got there just. I got to the Manchester second drop at 5 to 10. I'd informed the shipper, who was really good. Said, yeah, I can see the problem you're having. I said, yeah, an Arctic had ploughed into a recovery truck on the junction 12 on the M6. So it was even past the toll, so I couldn't do anything about it. But yeah, still got there. 5 to 10 in Manchester and delivered. Pig of a place underneath, underground, dreadful conditions. I know, loading docks, but just shit. But I did it. And then I got to go to Liverpool, which was fine. And that was right on the waterfront. Really nice. Right near Albert Dock, just over the road. Again. Oh, Jesus, that's hot. Again, it was the loading dock for a huge retail outlet. And again, it was underground. And again, it was rubbish. I know they ain't nice, but they're rubbish. But hey, found it, done it. And from there, I had to go to Leeds. To the same retail outlet, but in Leeds. And I phoned the shipper up to say, yeah, I've done Liverpool. And Leeds had got to be there by 2. And I said, look, I'm going to be there by about 1:30. He said, Leeds is pretty flexible. They'll take it after 2 anyway. But I said to him, have you got an address for the service yard? Because I'd got the address for the others, but I couldn't find the address for the service yard of this one. And he was brilliant. He said, hang on, let me find out. And it was a good job he did, because it was around the back of the store in a one-way system, and they got their own service yard, not the one for the rest of the retail units. And it's a good job he did, because it was a real pain. I would have found it, but it'd been more of a struggle. And we did that, and we was tipped and done by 1:45. Yeah, 1:45. I was all done. So good day for that. I got 190 for that, and if it hadn't been for the hour and a quarter, hour and a half, I'd have been done, I think, by about 12:15. So it was still good. It was still good money, still good timing. And I was in Leeds So I've parked right in the centre as well. I thought, well, I'd rather get towards South Leeds, near the M1. There's a motorway, M621 or something, I don't know, but there's a motorway to get you to the M1. And just before that, I just pulled in a little housing estate right on the edge of this motorway, and found a really good parking spot. I thought, this will do me. And I was looking for anything then. I thought, well, I really want to go south. I pretty much want to get home. Be nice to get home tonight. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If I'm stuck, I'm stuck. But I really want something. Job popped up to Kent, to Ashford. I was 12 miles from it. I quoted on it. I quoted at 65p all in, including me 12 miles. Nah, not going to get that. I didn't even quote for the Dartford either. That was, didn't take off. So, yeah, didn't get that. Quoted for, there was a job went to Scotland. I didn't fancy that because the weather's pants. It looked pants then, and the outlook is today is horrendous for Scotland, and it was further up than Glasgow and Edinburgh. I couldn't tell you. Sorry, no, I couldn't tell you, but it's Dundee somewhere. It was somewhere another 50 mile further up, and I didn't fancy that. A little job popped up then from Leeds. There was a few jobs actually. Leeds to Manchester way, but out of Manchester north and in the Pennine. It just weren't quite what I wanted. And I thought I just want a job somewhere south, really. A job popped up then after a good while, and it was a good while, from Leeds, North Leeds to Worksop, which I knew was further south, about 50 miles, and the job was 51 miles, and I was about 4 miles from it. And I thought, I'll quote 38 quid. I was going to quote 40 quid, because little jobs, you should quote more. And I thought, I'll quote 38 quid, it might get me it. Nothing happens, job was there, so I phoned Shipper and said who I was, give my circus number. Says, you see good feedback, I'm looking to move south, wonder if you give me it at 38. And I could hear the old tap tap tap, and he looked and he went, yep, I'm going to send that over to you. He says, how far are you away? I said, I'm 4 miles. I said 15 minutes, I'd imagine, which I was. And it was going to a district hospital in Worksop. It was one item, so that got me further south. And then I'm in Worksop, and I delivered that, and it was about 4:30. It was less than that. It was 4 o'clock, because I sat at the hospital till 4:30, wondering what I was going to do. I was thinking, well, I was still 100 miles from home. I thought, am I going to swallow 100 miles and have a shit? Well, I'm had a good day money-wise, and I decided that's what I was going to do. But before that, a shipper phoned me and said, are you interested in a job today, which is Thursday? He said it's not an early start, but it's to pick it up out of his yard at night, picking the stuff up, taking it to Thatcham, which is where I am now. But it ain't got to be booked. It's booked in at 11:30. You can get rid of it at 11. And do you know what? After 2 early starts where I've been out my pit at 4 o'clock, I went, yeah, I thought I'll swallow the 100. He gave me good money as well, good money on this one. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to swallow the 100 miles because I'm doing all right money-wise. And I'm just going to pick this load up and I'm going to go home. And I'll be home I was home but last night by about 6:30, 20 to 7. Done. And yesterday I got 228 quid for 420 miles. So it was pretty poor pence per mile. But 228 quid is 28 quid over my target of 200. Although in February I told you my target, I lowered it, so it was well over. And after Monday's 87 quid crap day, I'd had 2 mega days for me. I know some of you guys probably earn more, but that's good for me. So that was yesterday done. And then today I'm at Thatcham. I can't get in there till 11, and it's now just coming up to 11. That's the earliest I can go in. So all good. I'm going to put another couple of videos out later. I've owned this van now for a year. March the 1st I got this van, this old go. And it clocked over 100,000. I got it at 34 and it's 102,000 now. I'm going to be done about 70,000 this year. But I'm going to go into that as well. How much the cost of the van is and all that. So you're having a good day. Hopefully get this tipped. Get another job. I'm just looking for a nice couple of little jobs today. Potter around. And the same tomorrow. If I get 150 a day, I'll be happy with that. So, I hope you're doing all well. If you want to ask me any questions, I will try and answer them. Best of luck. Keep going, guys.